I didn't do a post yesterday, and partly it was because I just was a little overwhelmed by the world, and partly it was because I didn't want to talk about being overwhelmed by the world. And so today I was awakened. I was awakened by a message from the universe. As I was still sleeping, my very last thought was this voice of God saying, "The longer you sleep, the more you want to stay asleep," with a finger pointing at a snooze button. And at first I thought, oh, that's just, my subconscious mind saying, get the heck out of bed. And then I really listened to that. The more you sleep, the more you want to stay asleep. And I started thinking about the last 48 hours, what's happening in Virginia, what's happening with our president, what's happening in our country and in our world. And I realized that that statement is true. It's like any kind of lack of movement. The less I move, the less I want to move. The less I exercise, the less I want to exercise. The more I want to exercise. You get it. So does Maddie, because she's crying. The bottom line is, the more asleep we all stay, the more we want to stay asleep. And this morning's message to all of you is a little rough because I'm feeling a little rough in this awakening. I'm challenged by finding empathy for those I vehemently disagree with. I'm challenged finding humanity in those who do not see humanity in me. I am challenged in bringing love up from the depths of my heart and soul and being for those who would have absolutely no love for me or for those I care about. However, I cannot stay asleep. And the truth is, none of us can stay asleep. None of us can really afford to stay asleep. That doesn't mean we all have to get out on the front lines with bullhorns and signs, and that doesn't mean we all have to be at every protest. It doesn't mean anything except to be awake, to pay attention, to intervene when possible, to speak truth when we hear otherwise, to remember ourselves to humanity. We are a community and a humanity of oneness. And that requires membership. And so we remember ourselves to each other. We remember ourselves to our divine oneness, to our ability to be with each other, to remember who we are and who everyone is, even when they're behaving impossibly opposite to what we would like to see. I've heard people from Virginia, politicians from Virginia, and other politicians saying that there's no place for hate. There's no place for people who are behaving this way. My concern is that when we tell them they have no place, it makes them feel even more threatened and more fearful. We somehow have to find a place for them at the table with the opportunity to show up differently. We need to remember them to the table. So, as you can hear, Maddie is ready for her breakfast, and it's time for me to get back into the world. I'm loving all of you, and I'm holding all of you close. And we will, together, thrive, find love, find our way, and remember ourselves as to who we want to be in the world. And thank you for loving me, even in the rough moments. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you today. Ashe.